What will happen when a girl accidentally sees the future and how many people will die in an accident? That girl changes that event and saves them all by changing the entire timeline. But she did not know that despite changing the future, they're still not going to be saved. So let's start the sixth movie of Final Destination, one of the best mystery movie series till date, Bloodlines. The story begins in the year 1968, where Paul is taking his girlfriend Arish to the opening ceremony of a very tall restaurant sky view building. Arish was also very happy with this surprise, because this tower is the tallest building in the world till date. And the strange thing is that this tower was ready 6 months before its scheduled time. Apart from those two, hundreds of other people had also gathered here so that they could go up and enjoy the view. But now as soon as both of them started going up in the lift, Irish slowly starts getting scared that something wrong is going to happen to them. Now, when he went upstairs, he saw that there were already many people enjoying the party by dancing. Today, many people have gathered to witness this grand ceremony. However, Paul realized that due to the large number of people, he would not be able to get a table today, so that he does not have to go back downstairs. Therefore, he pretended to be a guest and started enjoying the party with the rest of the people. Meanwhile, Arish, who was standing on the edge and looking at the height of this building, suddenly started feeling bad, and she quickly ran towards the washroom. Meanwhile, some such incidents had started happening in the party, due to which a big incident would happen here soon. A sharp edge also hit the glass due to the cap of champagne, and the glass on the floor got cracked. However, everyone was busy dancing and could not pay attention to it. Then Arush saw a child towards the bathroom who was sitting alone, and his mother understood by looking at Arush that his condition was bad because she was pregnant. However, Arush already knew this, and she decides to tell Paul about this today. However, she is also afraid that Paul might reject her because she is pregnant. Now Paul himself goes to the roof and proposes to her. And when Arush tells him the truth about her pregnancy, Paul becomes happier, and they are finally happy that now they will be together. Just then, a child is constantly throwing some coins down. Now a guard tells him to stop and not to do so. Throwing coins down can also hurt someone. However, when the guard goes back, the child still continues to throw coins down. And during this time, a coin comes back from the air and gets stuck in the lift machine of the building. Inside, Arish and Paul were enjoying a lot with each other. They're about to start a new life when some screws of the building start coming out one by one due to that coin getting stuck. Then a chain reaction started. First, a gas leaked, and then the dance floor, which was made of glass. Now the same suddenly breaks, due to which many people fall down. Arish sees that the pole also got hung, and she was trying to save it, but also fell down. By now, there was a stampede everywhere. Everyone starts trying to go down to save their lives. But now, due to the gas that had leaked earlier, fire broke out everywhere, in which many people died, and the remaining people ran to the other side of the building. At the same time, when some people were trying to go down the stairs, it also broke. That means now the only way to go down is the elevator. But now here, also due to the crowd, Arish is not able to enter the lift. At the same time, many people got filled in the lift, due to which the lift falls down, and all the people present had died. Now Arish was running here, and they're in panic. They cannot go down in the midst of this destroyed building, and if anyone falls from such a height, there is no chance of his survival. By now, the building on one side also collapsed, and all the remaining people fell down from there. That means now only Arish is alive, and then she heard the voice of a child. This was actually the same survivor whom she had seen in the beginning. So Arish now runs to save him as well. She tried to save him by hanging on to one hand for a long time. But finally her finger also broke, and both of them also fell down, and in the end, everyone died. Now it was revealed from here that all this was being dreamt by a girl named Stephanie, who is currently in her college class. Stephanie has been having this dream about Arish for the last 2 months, and today she tells her friend about it, that how in reality she is Arish's granddaughter. But why has she started dreaming about her grandmother now? That too an accident, which never happened in reality. So now she has to go back to her home and find out the reason for these dreams. Stephanie goes home the next day and meets her father Marty. She just wanted to know about her grandmother Arish and where she is now because Arish was away from them for the last several decades. So now Stephanie starts looking for Arish's address in her mother's things. Stephanie's brother Charlie also comes here, who is not very happy to see Stephanie because Stephanie does not call her brother much after going to college, and he is left alone. Now Charlie is going to his cousin's house to meet them. So Stephanie also starts going with him so that she can get the address of her grandmother Arish from there. On the way, Stephanie told her brother everything about her dreams, that how for the last 2 months she has been having the same dream about her grandmother Arish again and again, in which all the people present in that tall building are killed. But nothing like this had ever happened. Her grandmother is still alive. So why is she having that dream again and again? To find out this, Stephanie wants to meet her grandmother Arish. Both of them soon reach their uncle's house, where they meet their cousins Eric and Bobby. Apart from this, there was also their sister Julia. Now Stephanie goes straight to meet her Aunt Grenda and Uncle Howard, from whom she started asking the address of her grandmother Arish. However, her Uncle Howard does not want to talk about Arish now. He also says in anger that how after the death of their father Paul, Arish started talking like a mad person. She kept repeating only one thing, that how all the people who survived that Sky Tower accident will now die one by one. Arish also had only 2 children, Howard himself and Stephanie's mother Darling. So seeing Arish behaving like this, the police took Howard and Darling away from Arish. Now Stephanie says that her grandmother Arish definitely wanted to tell something that no one could ever understand, and now she wants to meet her grandmother Arish and know everything. Although Uncle Howard does not tell her anything right now, but when Stephanie asks her aunt, she comes to know what is the current location of her grandmother. At the same time, she also finds an old photo of her grandmother Arish and grandfather Paul from her belongings. That means all this started 50 years ago with that tower accident, which Stephanie also sees in her dream. But in reality, that incident never happened in this timeline. Now after a long drive, Stephanie finally reaches her grandmother Arish's house, which was built in the middle of a remote forest. This house has been secured from all sides. But from whom? Even Stephanie does not know this right now. Now Stephanie talks on the intercom and convinces her grandmother that she is her granddaughter. Stephanie is the daughter of Arish's daughter Darlene, so she lets her in. Now Arish first asks Stephanie to leave Stephanie's phone and car keys in a box outside. She will not allow any sharp object to be brought inside. After which the gate opens and Stephanie comes inside scared and sees how Arish has become old now. Arish is happy to see Stephanie, but she does not go close to her. Stephanie also notices that Arish is scared all the time, as if she is anticipating some incident. Now on asking about Stephanie's mother Darlene, Stephanie reveals that she has been having dreams about her for the last 2 months in which they all get killed in that tower. But in reality, this never happened. Now hearing this, Arish tells that all that happened in reality. That day, when she went to that Kai Tower with Pole, this happened in reality. But she had already seen all those visions when Pole was proposing to her on the roof. So Arish quickly changed all the events because he came to know about the future in advance. He snatched the coin from that child. He extinguished that fire and told everyone about the crack that had come on the floor, due to which the whole event changed, and all the people who were going to die in that tower that day, Arish saved their lives because of seeing the future, after which that tower was closed forever. But with time, Arish started noticing that all the people whose lives he had saved from dying on the tower later started getting killed due to other incidents. It seemed as if they actually had to die in the same tower. That was their destiny. But Arish changed that event and saved their lives, and now the universe does not want them all to live. Now Stephanie was surprised how this could happen. Here Arish continued to tell that later the dying people started dying in the same order in which they were supposed to die on that tower. And because Arish herself was the only one left in the end, she has somehow saved herself till now. But now 2 months ago, she too got diagnosed with cancer. That means she will not be able to live for long. And from the same time, Stephanie also started getting dreams about her. That means, according to Arish, now Stephanie will have to save their whole family. Because if Arish is killed, then the universe will start killing her family members one by one. death will come after all of them because they should never have been born. Now, Arish starts giving his research done on all this for so many years to Stephanie so that she can understand everything. The methods due to which she has been able to escape death till now, and that is why she does not come out of this safe house. So Stephanie will be able to save her family with the help of this. Meanwhile, her magnifying glass also shook and she felt the rope of a plant burning. But Arish notices it. Now Stephanie does not believe her grandmother's words. Because of these things, the rest of her family considered Arish mad. So now she starts going back without taking the diary. At the same time, Arish started thinking about going out because she had an idea of the ways in which she will die. Anyway, death has been after her for so many years, but this time she will die of cancer anyway. So she wants to convince Arish that she is speaking the truth and he will save their whole family. Arish now came out to give her the diary and said that now whatever is going to happen, Stephanie should believe everything about it. It will be like this, and then a wing breaks from behind, and with the help of a fire device, it directly enters Arish's head, and she is killed there. She had predicted all this beforehand, and it happened. Now the next day, the whole family gathers at Arish's funeral. Here Stephanie tells everything to her father and Uncle Howard, that how Arish had told her before dying that now, as soon as he dies, death will come to their whole family. So they all should be alert. However, now no one believes her words, and then Stephanie's mother Darlene also comes there who had left them in childhood. So Stephanie starts moving away from them in anger, and when her brother Charlie tries to explain to her that they should talk to their mother, even then Stephanie does not agree, because their mother had left them in their childhood with the support of their father, and now she cannot give them another chance. Now the next day, Howard hosts a lunch for his whole family, because now the whole family has gathered together. However, Stephanie went home, as her mother was present there, and she started researching on Arish's diary. She came to know from the diary that what all things can cause death. Death never leaves those who should not have been in this world. On the other hand, during lunch, Bobby accidentally drops a piece of glass in the ice. That means it is going to go in the glass of one of the members as they were toasting. After which he goes to meet his sister Darlene as she was returning after many years. She also tells how their mother Arish always scared them about death. Due to this, Darlene's mental condition deteriorated and she left her children Stephanie and Charlie with their father in their childhood. On the other hand, Stephanie realized from the diary that something wrong is going to happen to her. So she quickly starts calling them and going to their house. But due to everyone else being busy in lunch, no one picks up the phone. Howard starts enjoying his children when Darling notices that a sharp tool was lying under them, and she picks it up and keeps it aside. However, all the incidents had started by now. Death starts playing its game. By now, Stephanie also arrives here. But now as soon as he sees her, he is going towards her when the same piece of glass which had fallen in the glass hits Howard's leg. While the same sharp tool, which Darling had picked up earlier, the grass-cutting machine, starts due to its fall, and the machine straightens up and climbs on the mouth. Arish fell down due to the glass hitting his leg, and he died there. Now from here, Stephanie got Arish's theory confirmed that as soon as Arish dies, his whole family will start dying because they should never have been born. So Stephanie prepares her entire research and now gathers her family and starts explaining everything to them. Stephanie started telling how after being saved by Arish in that tower, all those people started getting killed in the same order in which they were supposed to die in that tower. But because the number of all those people dying was in hundreds, it took many years for death to reach each one of them. And by then, many people had even given birth to children, which would never have happened if they had died in the tower. So now death is killing everyone who had a connection with the people present in that tower. And finally, when Arish's turn came to die, he hid in that cabin, and death took years to reach him. So no one was dying after him. But now death will come after Arish after his death. This order of death will be from eldest to youngest, meaning that Howard was Arish's eldest son. So now after Howard's death, his 3 children will die according to their age. First the eldest son Eric, then Julia, and finally the youngest Bobby. After them, Howard's younger sister Darlene's family will come, in which after Darlene, Stephanie herself, and finally Charlie. The entire order of death is going to remain like this now. Apart from this, Howard's wife Brenda and Stephanie's father are both safe because they are not connected to Arish and Paul's bloodline. Stephanie further tells that she found out about a man named JB in the diary who has cheated death, so they can find him and ask him how to escape. However, this time also no one believes her words, and they say that Stephanie is also going crazy like her grandmother. They all leave. Now on the same night when Eric was doing his work in the tattoo shop like every day. So now after all the work is done, Eric is left alone in the shop, and he starts making a tattoo on his hand in the memory of his father Howard. During this time, he also gets a message from Stephanie that he is next, so he should be careful. But Eric switches off his phone, and then the events start happening here, also on their own. A chain of the fan gets stuck in Eric's nose ring, due to which he is unable to get out. Down there, a fire had started due to the falling of a lamp, while Eric himself is hanging from the chain, and then a huge explosion took place in the shop. Now in the morning, Stephanie wakes up her younger brother Charlie and tells him that Eric's phone is switched off on the way. So both of them quickly start going to Eric's house. On the way, Charlie also came to know that there was a blast in Eric's shop last night. So both of them got even more scared. But then surprisingly, they found Eric safe and sound on the road. He also tells that he had survived last night's blast because luckily he was not there. Eric was wearing a leather jacket. Now Stephanie got even more confused that how can Eric escape fate? As per the order, he was the one who had to die. So she asks Eric to be careful ahead. Stephanie started applying her ideas from Arish's diary. How can the children playing while sleeping hit them? There's a trimmer hanging on a tree nearby. Along with that, a man was blowing leaves. So all those things could try to kill Eric. By now, Arish's younger sister Julia also came here. So Stephanie asks Eric to stay away from the garbage truck. Then when Julia was going behind, all the things from before gathered, and now, because of them, Julia fell in that garbage truck. Same as Stephanie had predicted. But all this happened with his younger sister Julia instead of Eric. Now all three quickly started running behind the truck so that they can take Julia out from inside. But they could not do anything, and Julia got stuck in this garbage truck and finally got killed. Now Stephanie apologizes while crying. How did she make such a big mistake in guessing the order? But from here, Brenda reveals the main secret. Actually, Eric, who is the eldest, was not actually Howard's son. Brenda was having an affair with someone at that time. That is why Eric's father is someone else, about which Brenda has kept this truth hidden from everyone, including Howard and Eric till date. That is, Eric, because now he is not from Eric's bloodline. And according to this, it was Julia's turn and she was killed. Now Eric, on hearing that he got to know such a big truth of his life today, goes out in anger. Now only the youngest Bobby is left and holds family. That is, now it will be his turn to die. Now everyone has started believing Stephanie's theory. So they start planning how to save Bobby. Now death will go straight after him. Then they remembered how Arish's diary had the name of a man named JB who escaped death, and how Charlie has found his address so far. How he works in a nearby hospital. So now they all decide to go there and ask him about this. While going there, Eric also came back. Of course his father is someone else, but he considered Bobby as his brother. So he also decides to go with them to save Bobby. Here on the way, when Stephanie sees her childhood photos in her mother's car, Madeline also explains that she was very scared. Her mother Arish always scared her about death. That's why she had to go away from both her children, so that they do not also go mad like her. But now everything is turning out to be true. Now everyone goes to the hospital and meets the same JB. This is the same JB whom we have seen in every Final Destination movie till now. Now, when Stephanie tells him everything, JB reveals that he is none other than the same little boy who had gone to the tower with his mother on the day of the accident. But then Arish saved them all. That is, according to the original timeline, he was the last to die after Arish. But Arish kept death to himself. He further tells that this has happened not only with him, but with many other people too. Till date, no one has ever been able to dodge death. Till date, no one has ever been able to cheat death. He tells that he, along with Arish, had built that cabin away from the whole world so that Arish could stay safe there. But eventually Arish got cancer, and now he himself also has cancer. Now Stephanie asks that then, how can they escape death? Now, according to JB, he has found 2 ways to escape death in his entire life. First, whoever is going to die should kill someone else in his place, and then they will get the life of the person whom they kill. The other way is that whoever is ordered to die will have to die till his breath stops, and then somehow the others revive him at the last moment. As has already happened once, and after that death will leave their bloodline and move on to its next victim. Now on hearing this, Eric brings his brother Bobby out. They also think in the beginning whether Bobby should take someone else's life so that they can get someone else's life. Brother, if they do this with a child, then Bobby will get a full human life. But neither of them is ready for this, and they choose the second option. Now, because Bobby has been allergic to nuts since childhood. So according to Eric's plan, they will worsen his condition by feeding him a chocolate of nuts and when Bobby will be about to die, since they are present in the hospital. So from here, Eric will take Bobby to the doctor just before he dies and save his life. However, the machine from which they were taking out chocolates with nuts got stuck, and both of them forcefully started taking out the packets by shaking the machine, and a spring also came out with it. After this, both of them went to an MRI room so that no one could see them, and now Alec, after telling Bobby to stay safe, goes to get a wheelchair so that there is no delay in taking the dying Bobby to the doctor. However, in the meantime, by mistake, they started the MRI machine, which attracts metal towards itself. That is, Death had started playing its game. Now, after bringing a wheelchair for Bobby, Alec also takes his injection from him so that he cannot inject him after getting an allergy, and their plan works. Now, as per the plan, Bobby ate the chocolate, which made him allergic. The machine starts to move, but they did not notice that the MRI machine was also running behind them, which started pulling all the metal objects towards itself one by one. Here, Eric had got metal pierced in his entire body. So now his entire body starts getting pulled in the MRI machine one by one. And finally, as soon as a wheelchair was attached, Eric got completely stuck in the MRI machine and was crushed to death. So there he too, dying of allergy, went to take the injection from Eric's hand, and finally he gave himself the shot. But by now the magnetic field of the MRI machine had reached outside as well. A nurse goes to that room to see what happened, and as soon as she opens the door, the same spring of the machine which had accidentally come out due to Eric and Bobby went straight into Bobby's head while being pulled, and he too was killed. That means now only Darlene, Stephanie, and Charlie are left. So Darlene offers kick because it is her turn next. So she will go to stay in her Mother Arish cabin, which is the safest. Death cannot harm him there, and till the time nothing happens to Darlene, Stephanie, and Charlie will also be safe because Death follows an order. Right now, they have no other option. Anyway, Darlene could not do anything for her children earlier, but now she is ready to stay locked in that safe cabin for the rest of her life to save their lives. After a very long drive, the three finally reached that cabin, but here the gates were closed and there was an electric current running through them. So Stephanie now hits the gate with her car and breaks it and enters inside. But during this time her seat belt got stuck and she got stuck there. However, right now they had to save their mother Darlene. So Charlie quickly starts going inside the cabin with Darlene. Now the process of death had started again. So an electric wire broke and fell on the cabin, due to which the stove inside burst and a huge blast took place. Outside, Darlene and Charlie got injured. At the same time, the car in which Stephanie was unable to get out of the seatbelt also overturned. Outside, Darlene quickly runs and saves her son Charlie from getting crushed, but then a part falls on her and Darlene dies. In the car, Stephanie was drowning in the water and it was her turn to die. But Charlie quickly ran and somehow took her out at the last moment and saved her. Now JB had already told them that if someone dies for a while and then becomes alive, then death goes beyond their bloodline. Something similar happened with Stephanie too, and both of them are happy that they will be saved now. Now many days have passed since this incident. Both the siblings had moved ahead in life to forget whatever happened in their past with their father. Today they also went together to pick up a friend of Charlie for a party, where they tell everything to a doctor. How Charlie saved Stephanie after she died for a while. But now the doctor reveals a big secret to them. How Stephanie never died. According to medical science, she had only fainted. That means death has not left them till now, and then a coin fell from a woman's hand and got stuck in the middle of a railway track, due to which the train now comes down from the track and starts going after Stephanie and Charlie, and finally, despite both of them running away, both of them got crushed under it and died. That means no one could deceive the mouse, and with this shocking ending, this whole movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this 25-minute breakdown. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie twists and chills.